Hello YouTube and Facebook. We are live again. We're going to talk about some golf cart stuff today, like we always do. We come here every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 noon Central Time. I go over some of the common questions that we get at Golf Cart Garage. I work for Golf Cart Garage, by the way. That's what this episode is about. This is about helping people out, trying to save them some money. If you like this content, please like and subscribe to this channel. You can follow us on YouTube and Facebook, obviously, but you can also follow us on other platforms. I'll run those links right now. These are the other platforms you can follow us on. Mason Grove, what's up, Mason in YouTube? Hey, Tim from Mini Spring is on the way. Might hit 50 this weekend. Well, I noticed that we got some warm weather moving in here too, but it is bringing the rain. So we're going to have some rain, but it is getting up into the 70s. So it's coming. It'll be here before we know it, and then we'll be complaining about how hot it is. You know, that's how it works. But yeah, we got some weather coming for sure. Some warmer weather, which I'm looking forward to. I get tired of the cold. Let's see. Let me just check things out. Looks like we're doing okay. All right. Well, this is Tuesday, March 21st. I am part of the Gearheads on Demand service that we offer at Golf Cart Garage. That is a service that we offer where you can call up or you can schedule an appointment with me if you want to talk with me on one-on-one. You can go. Now you can talk with me here every Tuesday and Thursday live if you need to. But if you need more time or you're not good at typing your question or something like that, then you can schedule an appointment with me. If you're interested in that, there's a link in the description that'll take you to the scheduling page. It's all automatic software. You just fill out some information, pick a time slot that you would like. Don't get discouraged if the time slots are filled up. If there's not any available, catch me here. If there are, catch me either Tuesday or Thursday at 12 noon Central Time. Cold, oh yeah, I know. Come to Minnesota. I know if I want to see cold, I get it. I couldn't handle it. Well, you told me that y'all go ice fishing out and y'all go out on the ice in your trucks, right? See, that's crazy. I'd like to do it, but I don't know if I'd want to have it get like that every year. See, Gene Hansen, warmer weather would be nice. Yes, it would. Yes, it would, Gene. Kurt, hello. You out there, Tim? No video. What do you mean, no video, Kurt? What do you mean? Is everybody seeing me? Do I got video? All looks normal here, Kurt. All right, good. Jen Slinger, what's up, man? Glad to have everybody here. Let's get started with these regular questions. Let's see. Andy says normal, Kurt. Greetings from Sin City. Appreciate that. Let's see. Cart will not move unless you took your foot off the accelerator pedal several times. Then it would go. Now it's not doing that either. Check the V-Glide to be sure that the wiper's making good contact. It is good. How many micro switches are there on this 94 Club Car's solid state car? Is there one underneath the cart near the accelerator pedal that needs to be checked? Any help would be appreciated. Okay, on the 94, and if you've already said you have a V-Glide, well, in the V-Glide there's only one micro switch, and in 94 I don't think you have a run toe switch, so that means you have a mechanical forward and reverse assembly in 94, and so that means there's 3 micro switches on the back side of your mechanical forward and reverse switch that could be giving you problems. So you got a total of 4, 1 in the V-Glide and 3 on the back side of your forward and reverse switch that you need to check. Ricky Smith, what's up, Ricky Smith? How's it going, man? I'm glad you're here. Appreciate you coming by, stopping by. Catherine O'Brien Freeman in Facebook says, I see you. Rock Dog JJ, hi Tim, finally got a chance to join. I appreciate it, Rock Dog. I'm glad you're here, man. Feel free to ask a question or tell me about your weather or whatever you would like. I'm glad you're here. Presto, Kurt says, now I got you. Had to reset YouTube. All right, good. I'm glad you're back. Mason says, fun times ice fishing. We're the wildest part of the Mississippi River, and it freezes enough to drive side-by-sides on and trucks. Now see, that would be fun, but I don't know if I could get the thought of, you know, the ice breaking out of my head. I don't know if I could get that out of my head in order to relax. I don't know. I've never done it. I might not even cross my mind, but it's crossing my mind now. So, all right, number 2. Jen Slinger says, are there any special tools required for swapping out or installing high-speed gears? There are no special tools, and the reason I know that because I've done it more than once. I'll tell you what makes it easier to do. Don't try to do it well. You can if you want to. It just depends on what you have, what your setup is. I was in the middle of doing lift kits and all kinds of stuff, or putting heavy duty springs on the race car when I did the gears in it. So I literally had the axle, and the motor wasn't even mounted. I had the axle out of the car, and then I had a bench that had nothing on it. I had a table. I took the whole axle, rear end and everything, and put it up on the table and did it there while I was standing up. That made it a whole lot easier. I would highly suggest that. And I also replaced every bearing in the rear end while I was in there. Every bearing in there, I replaced them all. And I tell you what, to this day, that rear end is probably one of the quietest ones that has come into my shop, and it's the one that I rebuilt replaced all the bearings and everything. But it makes it a lot easier if you take the whole axle and rear end and put it up on a table. Let's see. Mason Grove, it's like 16 inches thick or thicker some years. And I'm sure there's I'm sure there's some kind of mathematical formula, correct, Mason? There's got to be some kind of mathematical formula where the number of inches, you know, supports a certain number of weight. And I guess all you guys that live up there, y'all know that. I mean, that's the part that, you know, scares me, is that I don't know all those. I don't know the math. Like I've walked on ice that's probably, you know, 2 inches thick, you know, would support me. So how many pounds does it go up per inch is what I would be interested in. Let's see. Andy Childers, 2001 EZGO, just picked up from a buddy. Put new forward and reverse in. All batteries are reading 6.3, can run for about 50 seconds, and it just dies. Is it possible it's a battery dropping out our controller? Well, Andy, verify that by putting the voltmeter on the batteries for 50 seconds and drive it, whether it's still on there. Like, either take the seat off and figure out a way to drive it, or clip your voltmeter to the battery itself and eliminate that as being the issue first. It might not be a battery dropping out. If they're all reading 6.3, it seems like you should have one. If it was one of your batteries dropping out and you did it really quick, like after it went dead, then you check them. You should get one that was in the 5s, you know, or something like that, if it was one dropping out. Because if you did it right as the car died, it's not going to have time to recover that surface voltage before you get the voltmeter on it. So, but you need to eliminate that first as being the cause of the issue, because you could have a controller that's going out on you, you know, that's getting hot really quick. William Rizzo, hey Tim from the Florida Keys, what's up, William? Glad to have you back, man. Mason is confirming what I thought. He said, yep, it's like 6 inches for side-by-sides, 12 inches for trucks. Main rule is that not all ice is safe. Now, see, I would worry about that too. I would worry about it, you know, being 6 inches over here, and in certain areas out here, maybe it didn't freeze 6 inches. Maybe it only froze 3 inches, and you didn't know that. And you run your side-by-side through there. Or maybe it was like 10 inches, and then you run your truck through there. So that's what would kind of scare me a little bit. I'm sure I would do it. Yep, just did that. Andy says he got 5.3 on one. Soon as it died, well, that's going to be the one that's dropping out. Is that one that's 5.3, because it needs to be. You should never be able to get a good battery under the voltage the battery is. In other words, a 6-volt battery, you should never be able to get it to the point where it read 5.3. If it was a good 6-volt battery, you should never be able to do that. It should always be over 6 volts when you put a voltmeter on there. Otherwise, it's completely dead, and that 5.3 is completely dead. Let me check over here. Let's see. Mark Folsom, a 48 Yamaha on Facebook, has 2018 batteries, was charging to 52 volts, ran fine. Now it's dead. 12 volts won't charge or move. Time for new batteries. My 48 volt Yamaha was charging to 52 volts, ran fine. Now it's dead. 12 volt. Your 48 volt Yamaha, Mark, are we talking about you've got 4 12s in it? Is that what we're talking about? I'll try to remember to come back to you, Mark, on that, because I need to know what we're talking about. Rock Dog JJ says he's been lurking for a while, watched most back episodes. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. Catch us live, man. You never know what we get into here live. Watching from Athens, Georgia, 58 and sunny. That's cool. Man, you're over there in golf cart country. That's for sure. Athens, Georgia. You're close to where it all happens with a Club Car, Yamaha, and EZGO. Let's see. Andy says, awesome, thanks. Keith, hey Tim, hope all is good with you. Thanks for the information. Palmetto, Florida, where it is sunny and mid-70s. Ready to head home to Nashville in a week and a half. We're snowbirds. Okay, cool, Keith. Yeah, I'd like to. Let's see, because all right, so you get out of Florida when it starts getting hot, is what you're saying. When it starts getting, and then you go to Nashville. I guess Nashville's a little bit cooler. So that's cool. Yeah, I'm still at the point where I think I'd like the heat, but my wife and I have talked about it. I think I would like to leave in like January the 1st after New Year's, then go to Florida, stay there till about maybe March, end of March, January, February to end of March, or beginning of April, or mid-April, come back to here, come back to the south here, you know, and then I'd ride out the summer that way. I'd have 365 days of pretty good weather. Appreciate it, Jen Slinger. Yeah, remind people to mash the like button. I get distracted and don't keep up with that enough. So he's telling you, Rock Dog, to mash that like button. 𝗏𝘂𝘆𝗆𝘆. Hi Tim, I have a 97 Yamaha G16 36 volt. Can that car get up to 20 plus miles an hour without changing its motor? Thank you. Chris from Miami, Florida. 20 miles an hour in a 97 36 volt car. You probably could with high-speed gears. Probably. You know, you'd have to change your gears up. If everything is stock on your car, you'd have to change your gears, and you have to keep in mind, if your car is already a little bit, if you feel like it's low on power now, you change the gears, it's even going to be lower on power, on torque, not speed. You know, flat ground, it's going to pick up, you're going to pick up some speed with doing some high speed gears. You might get close to 20, you know, on a 36 volt car. I think I've had, I think throughout my time in the golf cart shop, I think I had some PDS cars that in a stock form got close to 20, and they're 36 volts. They might be a little faster than for that older style Yamaha though, but you could get close to it. The best thing to do would be high speed gears and a controller change, because of that, then that would help you on the torque drop. You know, from going to the high speed gears, the bigger controller would compensate for the loss in torque a little bit. So that would help. That would be the best thing you could do. William says January through March is the biggest season in Florida. Yeah, probably so. Yeah, that's when I want to be there. Yeah, I understand. Mark says he's got 6 8-volts. Okay, let me go back to your question, Mark. Yamaha has original 2018 batteries. Now it's dead. 12 volts won't charge or move. Oh, it's dead to 12 volts. Okay, now I understand. All right. If you're reading 12 volts on a 48 volt pack, then yeah, there's a big problem. It's probably time for new batteries. You're probably right. Now you could try to bring those back by charging them up individually. Those 8-volt batteries, you could hook a 12-volt charger to each one and charge them up individually just for a little while. Just like for about 30 minutes, set a timer or something. Charge them up for 30 minutes a piece, go to each one. You don't have to disconnect anything in order to do this. And see if you could see how high you could get that voltage, you know, to where your normal charger will come on. Because if you're only reading 12 volts, that's not enough voltage for your normal charger to come on now. So you're not going to get anywhere with that type of voltage. Rock Dog JJ, I've got a 2017 EZGO RXV. I just put 2 48-volt lithium packs in. Cool. Factory controller, factory motor, factory gears. Runs 30 and climbs mild hills at 24. Pretty happy with. All right, now let me understand something here, Rock Dog. I do like real world information like this. So you have a completely stock RXV, and the only thing that you did was you put 2 48-volt lithium packs in there in parallel. You put 2 48-volt packs in parallel, so it's still just 48 volts. With the stock controller, stock motor, and the stock gearing, are you telling me that we're also talking about stock tires? That would be my question. Stock tire height is what I'm talking about. Because that's some pretty impressive numbers for not doing anything. Oh, Mark says he did that once already. And he's, yep, if you did that once already, then yeah, they're pretty much done. Let's see here. Mason says, plan a trip next winter. I'll take you ice fishing. And a must is drinking beer in the ice shack. That sounds good to me, Mason. That sounds good to me. I hear you. I will consider that. Christo says, good to know. Thanks. Jen's gonna join us just for the beer. Tires. Rock Dog says tires are 20.5 and did some controller programming. Okay, so they unlocked your controller, and you've got a little taller tire than normal. So that would explain it a little bit, but still, that's some pretty impressive numbers for a 48-volt car. That's some pretty good with all the stock stuff you have. Because basically all you did was you got your controller unlocked with the programming, and then you got a little bit taller tire, which is helping you a little bit on top end. But that's cool, man. That's cool. That sounds like a fast car. Let's see. I think we're just on number 2 right here. Club Car 2013. After just 9 holes, it starts chugging. All right, so where does everybody think what I'm about to say here? Worse, going uphill. What could be the issue? I can add that the end battery shows 7.9 and the others are all at 8.1 or 2. They are 3 years old and Trojan. The first battery with the first positive post gets corrosion built up about every 2 weeks. The water level is kept at about 1/2 inch above plates. Well, the first thing I would do, if you've got a cable that repeatedly gets corrosion on it, all right, if it happens, you clean it and it gets corrosion. What that usually means is that the corrosion is actually under the insulation. And if the cable's long enough, you can cut it off and cut the insulation off, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then you can get to clean metal and then put you a new eyelet on there. If you can't do that, if the cable's too short to do that, then you just replace that cable. Get rid of that problem too, because your chug could happen if that connection could get loose, and that could cause your chug. If you replace that and you still have this chug or stutter like what you're describing, then most likely you've got a battery issue. Yeah, most likely, that's for sure. Yeah, William Rizzo said guessed it. Either old batteries or a bad battery. Rock Dog says change some settings, not just an unlock. All right, I got you. I hear you. Yep, that's cool. Number 3. My golf cart shakes when starting off or going uphill. 2 questions at 20 after, right on time. Well, I'm going to shut it short today if I start going past 30 minutes. They kind of like me to keep it around 30 minutes, but I'll probably shut it down on the regular questions instead of going long. Cart shakes. Okay, what does everybody think I'm going to say here? Golf cart shakes when starting off or going uphill. What might cause that? Or going uphill. It's the same thing. It's going to be most likely you've got a battery going out or a battery cable that's going out. So you check your batteries during the shake. Make it shake and then look at your voltage on the batteries. If you've got a battery going out during that shake, you're going to have one that drops down. One is the voltage is going to drop down during the shake, because that's just a symptom of a battery dropping out. The golf cart needs all 6 batteries to work correctly, or it will do weird stuff. And one of the weird things it does is shake. Anthony Moore says, yeah, battery load. Yeah, that shake is you're putting a load on your pack, and one of the supporters of the load is just can't do it. It can't handle it. It can't handle the weight of the load, and then so it starts to shake. Yeah, your batteries are supporters of the load. I just made that up. Number 4. My golf cart, 2009 Club Car Electric, starts to run very fast, forward and reverse, without me pressing the accelerator pedal, especially in the morning when it's very cold, and sometimes it works normally and sometimes it loses power when going uphill. I stop accelerating and it starts again, runs well. Could the problem be the solenoid, speed controller, or the MCOR? I would say that it's most likely going to be your MCOR from what you're describing. Let me see. What did you tell me what car you had? 2009. So, and it's got an MCOR. So so it still could be a series cart. I'm going to assume that you have a run tow switch. And since you have a run tow switch, that means that that's going to be an IQ system. And in an IQ system, there's a diagnostic port. I don't know if you're aware of this or not. There's a diagnostic port that Club Car can plug in their little code reader computer, and they can actually view your MCOR. They can view your acceleration curve that your MCOR does when you're pressing the gas pedal. And it should be a smooth transition in the curve, from 0 to 100% throttle. What you're describing sounds like that it's all over the place. Well, they would be able to see that real easy. Now, they're going to charge you for that service, but it's very quick, to check your MCOR. There's also a complicated test depending on which car you have. It's not complicated, but there's also a test where you can test your MCOR with a multimeter also, but it involves insulation piercing probes. You got to pierce the insulation on a couple of different wires and then view the voltage on your voltmeter. I don't know if you want to get that complicated or not. But I just wanted to make you aware that Club Car can view the acceleration curve of your MCOR with their reader. That'd be very easy. Let me see where we're at here. All right. Looks like we're on number 5. (1992) G9. Won't start, clean car, new spark plug, battery good, and starter motor runs. Thinking it may be the carburetor bowl. Thinking it may be the carburetor. Bowl has gas in it after I try to start. All right. I understand the bowl has gas in it after you try to start. I understand that. So, but that the only thing that you verified there, you verified that you are getting gas to the carburetor. You haven't verified that you're getting gas past the carburetor, you know, on the other side of the carburetor, into the cylinder. So the thing that I would always like to do there is I'd like to check for a wet plug. If it's not starting, pull the plug out and look at it and see if it's wet. If it's wet, it tells you two things. It tells you you're getting gas past the carburetor into the cylinder onto the plug, but it's not exploding the gas. So that tells you that you're not firing. So that's where that'd be where I'd be going there. Let me see. Number 6, where we're at. We have a 93 DS gas. The starter is fine, but it is getting very hard to find the right place to actuate the starter with the gas pedal. What part would I need? Well, you shouldn't. In that car, you shouldn't have to find the right place to actuate the starter. There's a lot of things that can happen with those. A lot of times the starter will spin, it will slip. Like there's a starter belt on the starter pulley, and it'll sit there and spin because the belt's not tight enough. Or the engine can be on the compression stroke, and you hit the gas pedal and it knocks turn the engine over because it's on the hard compression stroke, and you might have to feather it a couple of times to get it off of that stroke to turn fast enough to crank it. I'd have to see what you're talking about, but I'd want you to crank it in neutral and watch that starter pulley. Make sure it's not spinning inside the belt. When you crank it in neutral. Number 7. Was given this EZGO golf cart, and the manufacturer's code is J2291. Okay, so we're talking about a 91 EZGO 36 volt, 91. Okay, now we're getting back there. It seems to get power to the motor. It seems to not get power to the motor. The solenoid clicks in forward and reverse. The motor shudders for a few seconds and then shuts off. I'm trying to troubleshoot, God. I would appreciate any advice you could provide. Well, I can tell you this. If the motor does shudder, then you are getting power to the motor. You're getting power to the motor. If you weren't getting power, it wouldn't do anything. So eliminate, this is what I do. Eliminate batteries first. Make it shudder. See if you find a battery that's doing some unusual drop, and then eliminate that motor. Because eliminate the motor with the motor test. The motor test on that car, since I know we're talking about a series car because it's a 91, is you're going to tie an A terminal to an S terminal with a battery cable. Tie one A terminal to an S terminal, and then put 12 volts to the other two terminals and see if the motor spins. And then you can switch your polarity on those other two terminals and switch your polarity around, and so your motor should spin the other direction. Now that's for series motor only. So we eliminate the batteries first, eliminate that motor, and then we'd go from there. But you're describing a battery or a battery cable down to a T. Yeah, batteries again, Jen. You're right. It's always batteries. It almost. I mean, it's always a battery. It seems like it's almost always a battery related issue. Almost. I'd say take it back. At least 60% of the time. At least 60% of the time, it's a battery related issue when customers would come into my shop. At least 60%. Number 8. I have a 2022 Icon with front disc brakes. I bought a set of rims with a negative offset, but the brakes rub. Do I need a positive offset or neutral rim? Well, I don't know what kind of disc brakes that Icon uses, but I do know that the disc brake sets that we sell, not only do they call for a 10-inch rim, they call for a 10-inch offset rim. All right, so it's most likely you got the opposite offset of what you need. You need to get a positive offset if you got a negative. Yeah, you said you had a negative. So yeah, that's probably what it is. Because I've seen the Icon brakes and they look about the same size as the Jakes brakes that we sell. And the Jakes brakes require that also. This has been a big old battery episode. Yep. There might be more. Oh, look at here. This guy's got a lithium. Here we go. I have a 2017 RXV 48 volt lithium golf cart with a 𝗪𝗃𝗃 charger. Well, my first question there was that 𝗪𝗃𝗃 approved by the lithium manufacturer to be used on that lithium? Let's assume it was at this point. When I plug the charger into the golf cart, it indicates charging is complete, but I put a meter on the battery and it is only 5.5 volts. Would a bad charging receptacle cause this? A bad charging receptacle is not going to cause your lithium to go down to 5.5 volts. So I've got several questions on my end, because 5.5 volts on a lithium, on a 48 volt lithium, that would signify damage. I mean, totaled out. I mean, that's the lithium doesn't even like to get below their rated voltage. They don't even like to get close to their rated voltage, their nominal voltage, much less 5.5. So I'd have lots of questions. And like I said, the first red flag is when you said you were charging it with a 𝗪𝗃𝗃, because I know lithium manufacturers like to approve what charger you're using if you're not going to use their charger. Let's see, William Rizzo says, how much are the disc brake kits for a 2018 Club Car Precedent? Well, you got two choices, William. You got a disc brake kit from Jakes that goes on the front, only on the front tires, and on your front rims, and you leave your rear brakes that you got on there now. So when you hit the brake pedal, it activates your front brake and your rear. You don't even mess with the rear at all. You just leave them on. That's one type. But then you also have another type that we sell, and it's a mechanical disc brake, and it installs in the rear. You remove everything brake related in your rear off of your axles, and you install these mechanical discs. If someone from Golf Cart Garage is watching, could you look up Jake's disc brake kit for 2018 Club Car Precedent and post it in YouTube, and what the price is? Because I don't know off the top of my head, and I don't know if I really want to click around right now. I might push the wrong button and knock us off string. So he's interested in the Jake's brake kit, the front disc brake kit for 2018 Club Car Precedent. If you could post a price, please. Let's see. That was number 9. It's in there. Okay, number 10. Number 10 is from Curtis. Curtis says, any suggestions on how to reduce motor noise, typical whining, or is it gear noise in a Club Car Precedent? Oh, Jen must have looked it up. He said he got 580 on the Golf Cart Garage site for those, William. Thank you, Jen. Appreciate it. Okay, back to this question. Any suggestions on how to reduce motor noise, typical whining, or is it gear noise in a Club Car Precedent? Well, I can tell you this. When a Club Car Precedent is working fine, when everything is fine, it's a very, very silent rear end. So if you got some kind of noise going on back there, then there's several bearings in there. I've said that before. You've got several bearings in your rear end. See if you can make the noise. My question would be, can you alter the noise, like by your driving habits? Like if you turn to the left, does that alter the noise at all? If you under heavy acceleration, does that alter the noise at all? All those give me a hint on where the noise could be coming from. Or is it just consistent all the time? Is it any type of metal grinding involved? There's several bearings in your rear end, and you also have axle bearings on the ends of your axles. Let me see. Let's see. Rock Dog on Facebook, he says, I've not been able to find a replacement motor other than factory that incorporates the motor brake. I'm not sure anyone is making them. Are you aware of any? I am not, Rock Dog. I'm not aware of any. I'm not sure anyone is making them. Are you aware of any? I'm trying to get one equal or better than that 5.5 𝗫𝘂𝗲𝗃𝗲. Then I'll be swapping out the controller too. Until then, I continue with what I have. Battery, I think lithium is the way to go. Yeah, just, you know, a lot of people don't really understand how significant it actually is in the golf cart world as far as performance goes when you go to lithium, because they just think, oh yeah, it's just a better battery. It's not just that. It's that power to weight ratio thing that's going to give you the most. That's going to be the most exciting thing when you actually feel what drastically changing your power to weight ratio feels like, because that's what you're doing when you're putting a lithium in there. Plus, it's a more powerful battery. So, but that power to weight ratio is a scale, you know, that's used to how many. I mean, if your power to weight ratio drastically increases, you know, or reduces, or whatever the way you would describe it, it gets better. If your power to weight ratio drastically gets better, your car's going to feel like it has more power, even though you didn't do anything except shave a bunch of weight off of it. You didn't really change anything electronically. You just changed the battery to a much lighter system. Just that alone is cool. I mean, you're gonna feel the difference just by doing that. Let's see. What did I do? Let's see. We're gonna run social media links while I look from a tip, Kurt. I'm looking from a tip. Linear power yeah, that's what I meant by a more powerful battery, is that the power it stays more consistent, you know, as the golf cart's driving. Like, in other words, you got just as much power on your first round of golf as you do on your second and third round of golf. You got just as much power. You don't feel any slow degradation in power as the batteries run down. You're not going to feel that. It's a completely different setup. They're going to go, and then it's going to warn you it's time to go charge. And if you don't, it's going to put you in limp mode. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe this content, and don't forget to go to golfcartgarage.com to buy your parts, and you can use this coupon. You can use this coupon by putting in 𝗃9 at checkout. I got time, Kurt. 𝗃9 at checkout. You'll get 5% off any parts you order at golfcartgarage.com. So please remember that. Please do that. Let's see. Now, here's this week's tip, Kurt. And I've said it earlier. The tip usually has something to do with something that I talked about earlier in the episode. If you have a battery cable, any battery cable, you know, that continues to get corrosion on one end, and it's not long enough to, I mean, what you need to do is cut that end off and put a new eyelet on there. But I want you to cut it back further than you think, because you need to see if your corrosion is running up the cable, because that causes repeated corrosion buildup. Even though you keep cleaning it, you think you're doing the right thing, well, it comes back because there's corrosion inside the cable. So if you have a cable that repeatedly gets corrosion, and you can't cut it off and put a new end on it far enough to get to clean metal, then replace that cable, because it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. You can keep fighting it if you want to, but it's not going to get better. Just replace that cable and be done with it, and you'll be better off. All right. That was episode 104. 104. Guess we're going to get out of here. Let me make sure. I want to thank everybody. Rock Dog, thanks for coming, man. Please come back. Mark on Facebook, thanks for coming. Let's see, Catherine, thanks for being here. And thanks for being my wife, Catherine. Let's see, we got everybody in YouTube. Anthony, And don't overfill batteries. That is correct, Anthony. Do not overfill batteries. That is a very, very common mistake that people make. Over and over again, they overfill batteries. I don't even like it when a customer says, "Well, I fill the batteries up, every month." I don't like when they say I fill them up, because that makes me think they, fill them up to the top, which is too much. So anyway, thanks for pointing that out. Everybody in YouTube, I want to thank you all for coming. All right, that looks like it's gonna be it, dudes and girls, if we got any girls in here, besides my wife. I will see everybody on Thursday. I'll see everybody on Thursday. The garage is now closed.